Okay, so today we're going to be putting together week 4 of the Document Your Faith project. We're talking about Proverbs 31 this week, and the Proverbs 31 woman, who is a rather misunderstood woman at times. This basically is a reminder that we are the project. We are the Proverbs 31 woman, but it's not about what we do, it's about the heart in which we do it. So our scripture verse is in Proverbs 31:30. Charm is deceitful, beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. And it's just a reminder of what is actually the most important thing in our life. Not what we do, not all of the extra stuff, but who we are and how we glorify God and fear Him. So what I have done is you can use any woman for the project, but I have used these women here. There's 6 of them, and their download is in the membership in the project. So you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the one I'm using. And you can use those if you want to for your project. What I decided to do was, here's just my page. And I decided to use one of the background papers from the January 2022 kit in Sojo Academy and use it as just a background. And what I am doing is I just fold it in half and I'm just going to cover the page with this. Now, I'm going to do this project today with no glue. So we're only going to use tape and staples today for this project, just to show how you can use what you have around the house. What I'm going to do first, though, is, so this is the page I'm going to draw on. Okay, I'm going to tip it into my planner here. And there are some tutorials on what that means in the bonus resources. So just tip it in there. And then on the opposite side, this is the side that will open up. And on the opposite side, this doesn't give me any room for actual writing or journaling. So I have decided, I took a piece of paper, just a regular piece of typing paper. I cut it in half. I basically cut it down a little bit so I could see a little border. And I tore the edge just to make it a little unusual. Mainly because I was thinking about myself and how I am just so imperfect. And this just represents that imperfectness of me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and adhere this in here first. And the reason I thought about it is that I might staple this in. But let me tape it down first. So first I'm just going to take regular tape. This is not even double-sided tape, guys. This is regular tape. I mean, it's cheap. This is like dollar store tape. Okay. And so I don't think it's archival, so it may not last forever. But for my purposes, it's okay. I'm just going to put some on the edges, and then I'm going to put one in the middle here. I'm just folding it over and put it here. And then I'm going to tape it down. So I'm going to do that first. Okay. And then if I want an extra little adhesion, I'm going to go ahead and adhese this paper down a little bit, just in the middle, just so it doesn't run away from me. Put it here. Put it here. Okay. And now what I'm going to do, because I don't mind staples, I kind of like the texture of staples, I'm going to add a staple here, just to add a little extra. I'm not going to let it go across to this side. I'm just going to do it right here, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm just going to go on this side, and I'm going to staple. And I'm going to go on this side, and I'm going to staple. Okay? And you can do more if you want, but that gets that on there. So now I have all this extra journaling space on the back side of my print. And I have this as a bonus, this paper also stapled down. All right, so now let's come to the front side. I need to adhere this paper on first, so let's just do that with some tape. Again, I could use glue, I could use staple. I've just decided not to use glue today, just to show you alternatives. Okay, so I'm just going to take that paper and just tape it down like so. And then let's decorate it. So I have this lady here This is my black and white lady, and I showed you just a minute ago. I went ahead and I wrote in. We did this during the creative workshop, by the way, January 22 creative workshop. If you're watching this later, if you have access to the bonus library in the academy, you can see all how I came up with all this ideas there. But basically, I went ahead and wrote in the verse. You see that? And I wrote in the reference and just wrote it in her. And then what I decided to do was go ahead and color this. So I colored in her clothes. I colored her hair. I didn't quite finish it because I wanted to show you what I did. I made her hair brown, which is here. You can see that. I don't know if you can see this, but there it is, brown. Because my hair is not completely brown. It's got a little bit of a red tint to it, but it's not like bold red. I took the red and I went over the brown, and I'm just finishing that up. I went over the brown, so I made it like a brown red. Okay. Now, I can go back through once again because that is a little red and just go through and give it some more brown highlights. So just kind of throughout. I'm just going to give some little extra brown there. See what I'm doing? I'm just kind of following the lines of the curves of like where her hair would be and just adding a little bit of brown there. Okay, and so now she's kind of got brownish red hair, which is sort of the color of mine because she's a representation of me. Then I went through with the red. If you see here, I kind of added a little texture. I don't know if you can appreciate it, but I added a little texture like where the lines of the image were. I went ahead and just added a little red there. I'm going to do the same thing with a little brown. I'm just going to make it a little bit brown here too. Just to add a little bit of texture here to her hair, because all of our hair is not uniform in color. Okay. There's no magic to this. This is just kind of just playing around with it a little bit. Anyway, so just so you have kind of an idea about how I did her hair. Okay, so I've colored her, and she's going to go here. I always lay everything down first before I actually adhese it. So she's going to go here. I cut out 2 banners that I'm going to put here. I've got a speech bubble. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to put the banners down here because I have a speech bubble that I'm going to put here that I'm going to journal in. And I'm going to journal something. I don't know what I'm going to journal yet. Something, maybe my prayer. Maybe remember who I am in you. Maybe just something simple like that. I just have this little ampersand here, which I think is kind of fun. I'm just adding that to that. And the heart. You know what? I'm probably going to journal about my heart. Okay, so what I'm probably going to write in here is just a prayer from Scripture. And I think what I'm going to use is I'm going to use Psalm, let me see what Psalm it's, Psalm 51:10, where it says, just create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me, because this is what I want. I want this to be a heart issue. So I'm just going to really quickly write this. Okay, so I just wrote that little prayer. You see, I didn't even write it very neatly. And if you see I initially forgot the E, I could just reprint this element off of, because that's the great thing about digital elements. I could reprint it and start over, but it doesn't really matter to me. I'm okay with the imperfection. All right, so I'm going to put it here, and this is what my prayer is. So let's put this all together. And again, I'm not going to use glue, which would be easier. And I might end up coming back and doing glue later, but for now, I'm going to just use a little bit of tape here. And then I'm going to staple everything down at the end, you'll see. Okay, so let's put my speech bubble down first. Okay, let's put my lady down next. This is me. Because, and as I'm doing this, of course, I'm remembering the scripture, and I'm remembering that I am to be a woman who fears God. And how do I fear God? I need to know God, and I need to love God, and I need to, continue to pray that He gives me a clean heart. And that's why I added that prayer. So let's go ahead and add this. The good thing about not gluing is you can like pull up, and you can add a little texture there. So let's add the ampersand. And the other good thing about tape is I can, take it up if I want, if I'm not happy with it. Let's tape down the little heart. This all came out of our creative kit for the month. Okay. It also adds a little bit of texture in your book, which is kind of fun. Okay, let's tip it in first. Okay, so now that I'm here, there are about a billion different ways we could have done this, but now that I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and put my staples here. Now, if I were to just staple like this, I'm going to end up stapling where I can't open it. So I'm going to have to go from the bottom instead and staple them together this way. Okay, which is totally fine. Okay, so I've stapled them on there this way. Now, here's what I've got. Here's my final page. So here's my planner. Okay, here's my page. And then when I open it up, I have all this extra room to journal or write for the week. Sermon notes, Bible study notes, just journaling what happened, prayer journal, whatever I want to add to my journal. I have that here. Okay. And there you go.